Welcome to The Third Act, an educational podcast for entertaining audiences like you.
Theater for the middle class.
I'm your wife host, Gracious.
And I'm your husband host, Jared. We're glad you're here.
So glad. So, Jared, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The question of the century. How are you on a scale of melting to sparkling?
The word that comes to mind is I'm feeling frosty. Not necessarily because I'm cold. Rather, I did a million different small little things today. And I'm feeling a little bit jagged, a little bit edgy.
Ooh,
Feeling a little
edgy.
bit frosty today.
Frosty. It's a good word.
Yeah. On a scale of melting to sparkling, how are you feeling today, my dear?
I am feeling deadbeat.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I was trying to think if that fits the rules. It does. It does fit the rules.
If it's the what are the rules of this game?
Hey,
I made
man,
up
that's
this
not what we're
game,
here for.
Okay, I make the rules. No, man, I'm just exhausted. We had fight choreography today.
You did?
At work, and we did basically 8 straight hours of fight choreography.
Yeah.
We had one 30-minute lunch break, and then like occasional 10-minute, breaks.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 8 hours of straight fight choreography. It was wild.
Yeah.
In the sunshine. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Crazy. I'm so tired.
I'm very proud of you, though.
Thanks.
I had a question.
I'm going to be really sore tomorrow, but it's okay. It was really fun. It was super worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a good time.
I'm so upset. I had a question. It was like right on the tip of my tongue. And then I was thinking about editing, and now it's gone.
Oh, you silly
It
little
was such
goose.
a good question. What did you say your word was?
Deadbeat.
Deadbeat. Get it, folks.
Get it. Hey, how was your week? How are you excited for anything? What's
Nope,
going
I have
on?
nothing exciting going
Nothing
on
exciting
whatsoever. I've
going
just
on.
been receiving gifts for the past 5 days because Gracious and I we're going on a trip, and we will be celebrating our 3-year anniversary
3
together.
years.
So in
Yeah, buddy
preparation, as we realized that we have no summer nor beach clothes, we only have winter clothes. We went out, we bought beach clothes for each other, and have been slowly revealing and gifting them to each other throughout the week. I got a really cute note every day for the past 5 days. The note at the top has an attribute that I embody very well, and those 5 attributes all start with the first 5 letters that make up my name.
Yeah.
J, and A, and R, and an E, and a D. It was very cute. Made me a little weepy. I feel so loved.
Because I'm adorable.
You
Best
are adorable.
wife ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like all they're fun colors. You wrote them out with your fun pens.
Of course.
Very well thought out. Very meaningful.
Thank you. I think I'm pretty good at notes. That's one thing I do well. I don't know if I'm as good at gifts, but notes I'm very good at.
Yeah. I mean, this is much smaller on the scale of importance, but still important in my life. We officially began rehearsals for Bright Star this week.
Yes, sir.
Your boy playing Daryl, and it's been really fun. It's a very talented group of individuals with a wide array of talents and background. So it's been fun as we try to learn everyone and how do they fit in as a puzzle piece in this beautiful musical. And it's been fun. Having done the show before, it's very nice coming into it familiar with everything.
Oh,
I feel like I'm able to make bolder choices sooner in the process.
Yeah. That checks.
Yeah, it's been good.
That checks. Good.
Yeah, so it's been really fun.
Good. We had a great Memorial Day. It was sunny. But then right after Memorial Day, it was rainy.
It was.
So
it was
fun for us.
Memorial Day was so nice.
Memorial Day was so nice.
Yeah. First off, thank you to all the men and women and individuals who have served or are currently serving our country and protecting our freedoms, rights. It was so nice to spend the day with people that we love and care about. And I was excited for a break from work. I did not anticipate having the opportunity to reconnect with people that I care about.
Yeah.
Right. Like I was just ready to eat burgers. I wasn't ready to like foster and kindle friendships, but it was really nice.
Yeah.
And we had our little matching t-shirts that day, and we looked
did.
so cute.
So bomb diggity. We were adorable.
Yeah.
Most
You looked
adorable couple
really
out
cute
there.
that day. Also, the way that you did your hair, adorable, and it stayed the entire day.
It did. I had to do my hair for a Memorial Day parade in the morning, and I ended up taking it half down. And my costume for this
iconic.
project. This is our stunt show that we do on the train. Is so Anne of Avonlea reminiscent. It's like amazing.
Look it up, folks. It's really
the cute little hat. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed.
We can't link pictures in show notes, can we?
No, but if you want to go to my Instagram, I'll probably post about it later.
There you go.
At Gracious Matson.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, whoever designed
So cute.
the costumes for that show, like
Yeah.
everyone just looked phenomenal.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so fun.
Yeah. So good. I love it. So
I was
shall
going
we
to
move on
ask.
to our episode?
Yes. But I was going to ask. Gracious, what are we talking about today?
That's what I was about to say. So this episode is going to be a little different than our normal episode.
What?
Because guess what? It is coming out on our 3-month anniversary, on the day. On the day.
Oh,
on
snap.
June 2nd. So we will schedule it so it comes out on time. But we are very excited about our anniversary. And we also have been very busy with preparations. So we decided that it would be better this week to kind of take a back seat, and instead of doing a bunch of research on shows, we're going to take some time to introduce ourselves and why we're qualified to give our thoughts on theater.
Yeah, fools.
Although I will make the point that the arts are kind of relative, so you could argue that anyone's qualified to talk about them. However,
discussion for another day.
we'll discuss that another day. But let's talk about our experiences with theater. And this is just going to be fun, and we're going to share some anecdotes and stories, and it'll be a good time. To start, Jared, can you rattle off the quickest of bios to us? So if you were to write a bio for a program, what would you say?
Okay, we're ready to go, folks. I begun as a humble actor in a children's productions. I got permission. The local high school director, Mr. McCoy, would do children's productions. The idea is that he wanted to give the children in the community an opportunity to become familiar with the high school, with the theater, and eventually transition them into doing shows at the local high school. So he would start them young, right? Simultaneously, this gave the high schoolers an opportunity to not just be actors, but to also be stage crew members, assistant directors, designers that helped them bulk up their resume in a way that was easy and relatively low stakes.
Yeah.
There we go. So I started doing just small kid shows. I was homeschooled growing up, so of course we did homeschool productions in the basement of my parents' home, and it is there that I gained a love for the literature that makes up theater and the hundreds and thousands, if not millions, of writers who have contributed to the art in which we now call theater. I transitioned from being an awkward homeschooler to an even more awkward public high schooler. And I did shows with Mr. McCoy. I feel like it's there that I got to hone my skill of being expressive, right? Taking up space, using your face, using your body, using your voice, all of that, everything that goes into being a very dramatic, expressive actor. I got to practice that for 4 years. That was Mr. McCoy's highlight. During the summer, I often worked at the Wolfart Dinner Theater. That's German for Wolfart. Fact, look it up. We would do summer productions that were very dance heavy. And I was often the youngest person there by many, many years. So I was like a master class and getting to learn from other actual regional professional actors, right? So we did a lot of dance. It was good. I often built muscle during the summers. It was good. I then went to my alma mater, Southern Virginia University, for my collegiate experience and got to do shows. And I met the wonderful person known as Gracious Mattson. Well, now Gracious Mattson. Yeah, we did a lot of singing. I think that's where I got my singing chops from, as well as we did a lot of period pieces at SVU.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of historical research and learning, how to posture yourself and hold yourself, right? Being grander than you actually
kind of
are.
refining your expressiveness that you learned.
Yes, and reining it in. And now, because I work a full-time job, my theater currently consists of community theater, and supporting the local regional theaters in my area.
Yeah,
I'm having a lot of fun with it. That was not short, so I challenge you to be even shorter, Gracious.
Oh, I will
rattle
be
off your bio. Ready, set, go.
Watch me. Okay, well, so I started out actually at an arts charter school when I was young. I was in an arts charter school and I loved it so much, but my parents pulled us out to homeschool us after third grade. And I have a distinct memory of sitting on my mom's lap and crying because I wouldn't be able to do theater anymore. And she was like, guess what, gal? There are other forms of theater that are not just school. And she introduced me to community theater, did my first production of Annie, as everyone does as a 10-year-old.
Everyone does.
And fell in love. And I kept doing it. And I was mostly self-sufficient. I couldn't drive myself anywhere.
I'm going to say Annie is one of like the major 5 gateway drugs into theater.
It was my gateway drug, that's for sure. My other gateway drug was Missoula Children's Theater that came to our charter school.
I never did Missoula.
You never did Missoula?
No, never.
Well,
I had friends who did.
Shout out to Missoula.
Yeah.
That sponsored, sparked my love. Then I did Annie, and then I just kept doing community theater productions until I was about 13, and then I decided to join a youth theater company in my area, Jack's Youth Theater Company, my home, my love. I did that as well as doing other community theater productions and homeschool productions, and
I
my
will
own
say,
productions.
having seen videos of Jack's productions, I'm always impressed with the high quality of those productions. Even though it's children's theater, you guys are very good.
Thank you. I also took it upon myself during high school to produce my own workshops or my own shows.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did independent productions.
Were you like producer, writer, director?
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Solid.
Not always all of them. I usually got a team together. I usually got some people on board because I'm very I'm very charming, you know.
You assembled the Avengers.
I assembled the Avengers and then
Naturally.
I did stuff. And then I went to SVU and I have a bachelor's degree, a bachelor's of arts in theater.
Ooh, so sophisticated.
With a concentration in vocal studies.
Darn straight.
Good for me. I did a lot of vocal pedagogy work and music work. And then, of course, all the things that Jared said. Lots of period work.
I would also say that you mastered your piano skills in college.
I worked as an accompanist for a time. In college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I taught piano in high school as well.
You did. I think it's on your resume, like, oh, I play piano, but it's not, you're not one of those people who like, oh, I took lessons when I was 12 and haven't touched it since, but I put on my resume. Like, no, like you actively sit down and professionally sight read music almost on the daily.
I'm pretty good, I think. And then I worked for the costume department at SVU for a while, which gave me my first job here at Fulton Theater in the area. I worked as a dresser and a production assistant for a while, and now I am a professional actress.
Yeah,
I work at a railroad. I also did some contract work, and I work as a party princess and all of those things, so... Basically, I'm professional in the field.
So my question is, what's the dream? What are you trying to build towards or build to?
Oh, my dream. My dream is for the next few years, hopefully to perform professionally for a while in the regional theater circuit. I'd really love to travel. I'd really love to do tour productions. I'm not as interested in the New York scene. It's just a little too much hustle and bustle for me, but I'm all for traveling and doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I eventually want to open my own art center that has a theater, that has lessons, spaces, that has performance, everything.
Are you sold on
That's
calling
the
it the
dream.
Grace Theater, or is that just what I call it?
That was what you came up with. I don't have a name for it yet.
I do. Oh, sorry. The Grace Arts Center.
No, I'm not set on that.
Okay.
But I feel like you're set on it, so maybe
I'm
we
not.
need to keep it.
Hey, guys, if you know what we should call the Art Center, drop it in the comments down below. Thanks, guys. Help that algorithm grow.
What's your dream? I mean, you have similar dreams.
It's in the process of changing.
It's always
obviously,
changing.
I first and foremost am here to support the dreams of my darling wife. My eventual goal, I would like to become an artistic director. However, that is not a job that you apply for on Indeed and then get 5 days later. That's a job in which you do 100 things throughout your lifetime. And at some point, when some old geezer passes away and you just so happen to be the next guy,
and you've done basically everything in theater,
and then
up
they
to
just
this
kind of
point.
throw you into the role and you do that until you also pass away. So
I feel like that's a job you have to get nominated for.
literally
Basically.
like an award.
Yeah.
Not something that you apply for. So in the meantime, I'm going to do 100 different things when the opportunity arises. However, I do need money. So I'm also in the process of applying for master's programs to get my degree and licensure in psychology and then become a licensed therapist or counselor, whichever one you prefer.
Yes, sir.
But that's my muggle job. So the wizarding job is to eventually become an artistic director and make magic happen because I
wizarding
love the
job.
arts and I love all aspects of the arts.
Artistic director would be pretty cool.
Right. And I want to enable other people to live out their dreams as well. So
Very
that's
nice.
what we're working towards.
Well, thanks for sharing. Okay, this one actually quickly. I
Yeah.
want you to rattle off a quick resume. Not every single role you've ever played, but your faves.
Can I say that I have been in 58 productions?
You can
and counting.
say that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. But like you're talking like the important ones that help shape me as a person.
What you would put in a bio?
Sure. I have been in productions of Wizard of Oz and Joseph each 3 times, and I'm probably going to do it more in my life. But those ones have like, actually, Joseph is my gateway drug. So there you go.
Yes, sir.
Tarzan. I was a gorilla, and that one rewired my brain for a love of physical theater. Because often we talk about we say it's emotion, and then usually we think of people crying. Theater is a sport.
Yes,
Musical
sir.
musical
It in
theater
fact
is a sport. Flowers for Algernon. That one is quite a bio booster. I played the lead in that one. That character has over 400 lines, and the way that we staged it, he never left the stage. And that was quite impactful, quite literally a marathon, because I think we also put on that show in a month and a half in high school. It was intense. Peter and the Starcatcher, that show defines what I think is quality theater. Just the style of Peter and the Starcatcher, perfect. Mary Poppins, that one I played Bert, and it used all of my artistic skills. Sang, danced, I sewed my own costumes. He paints or does chalk art. I was the artist for that, and I made my own props and did my own hair and makeup. So every art skill I've ever mastered. Oh, and then I helped build the sets for that one as well. So I did all the arts for that show. Little Women, did that show during COVID, an online production on Zoom. That will forever live with me, for better or for worse. Bright Star, It's probably the most fun I've ever had on stage and is a show that I will continue to do the rest of my life, i.e. right now, currently. And then Anything Goes. I had a blast doing that show with you, and it's on my big 3.
Yeah.
So,
Very good.
Yeah. Gracious.
Very good. Well, my go-to favorite. I have a soft spot in my heart for Little Women and the March Sisters.
Yeah.
I wrote my own version of Little Women. This is one of the ones that I did in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's my own version. It's mine. It's a play. And I played Jo March. And then doing Little Women with you during COVID and played Meg. Other favorite credits, I'm just going to rattle them off.
Sure.
Ariel and the Little Mermaid, Eponine and Les Mis, Gwendolyn and the Importance of Being Earnest, and college. Really? Yeah.
How did I not know that?
The Importance of Being Earnest was another one that I did myself because it's in the public domain.
It isn't. Oh, shoot. Okay, cool. Good for you. I had no idea.
That was the one that I did in a week.
Oh, that's right.
I told you about
that. Is
that.
So impressive. Did you guys cut lines?
No, it was the whole show.
It's the whole show.
I think
in
we
full.
maybe cut a couple of unnecessary things or
Sure.
like set things that we didn't have, but
Sure.
yeah, it was the whole thing.
It's not a short play.
I mean, we were given the scripts a couple weeks before to start memorizing, but we didn't start blocking or anything until the week of.
I see. That explains.
Most people were not memorized, though, by the time we started rehearsals, by the
who
way.
is?
And we started on Monday, and we just performed that weekend. Very exciting. College credits, Marianne and Kate Hamill's Sense and Sensibility. That was my breakout role. I did it with some very dear friends. Love it. Portia and Shakespeare's Julius Caesar.
Portia.
The Witch and Into the Woods. Anne Deaver and All My Sons. I did do more musicals in college, but those straight plays in college were bomb diggity, I will say. And since graduation, playing Hope in Anything Goes was a dream. I also love the role that I play in the murder mystery I'm currently doing at the Railroad. The murder mystery is pretty dang fantastic.
To use
really
a quote from one of our good friends. Girl, you slay.
And then for other projects, my favorite backstage escapades were definitely at Fulton, probably doing Misery and Equus.
Equus was so good.
Equus was so good.
It was so good. So well done.
It was amazing. I loved working there. I love all the people at Fulton.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. Well, those are our resumes. For better or for worse. That took us so long. So why don't we tell some stories?
Is it story time?
It's story time.
Story time!
Story time first is our meet cute because guess what? You'll never guess it. We met
doing
theater.
So here's the thing, y'all. Okay? Listen up. Pull up a drink, grab a snack. Listen up.
As if they haven't already.
COVID was such a great time for everyone. Like everyone was just having a blast. I started school in 2020. Gracious was a sophomore at that time. I'm sitting on a bench in the hallway outside the theater, and I hear this angelic voice singing coming from the theater. And moments before, Gracious, along with a posse of other girls, had walked past, giggling, laughing, waved, and then went to the theater. So I knew that it was one of them.
They were my close contacts, by the way. I was allowed to be with them. They were your close
contacts. Like one, yeah. So I knew there was one of 8 girls. One of 8 girls had a beautiful voice. Fast forward, we have auditions for Little Women, get casted. We're having our first initial meeting over Zoom, and there's all these faces. No idea who any of these fools are. And it isn't until fast forward 2 weeks later, I learned that I will be performing beside Gracious. And they go, okay, let's rehearse. And she starts singing, and I go, it's you. You're the girl. You're the girl with the voice.
Moment.
Like an Eric and Ariel. Totally. And at that point, I had 2 thoughts. My first thought was, wow, this girl has a beautiful voice. My second thought was, oh no, I know nothing about music. I'm going to make her look bad, and then everyone's going to point fingers of blame at me. And so I spent the next month worrying and trying as quickly as I could to improve my singing abilities so as not to embarrass Gracious. and played husband and wife. And that's how we met. But we became best friends when we were doing a play. It was called Here. We played husband and wife in this show. So obviously very difficult content, as we two young college students are pretending to be two parents who just got home from the funeral of their 4-year-old son. And it tells the story as, they grapple with their emotions and mental health and schedules. Difficult content. However, because of it, we had very meaningful discussions every night. And each discussion was like a little date night, right? Where we got to learn a little bit more about each other.
I also made him stare into my eyes for 60 seconds before every show, because we spent the whole time yelling at each other. And I was like, I don't want him to hate me after this show.
Need reassurance that we're okay.
We got to have, because I'm one of those people. I'm one of those hippy dippy peeps. Anyway.
That is true. So here's the thing, folks. It is impossible to go on an emotional journey with another person and not feel connected to them in some way.
Accurate.
So naturally, Gracious and I started to have feelings for each other. However, we are hardcore actors, and we both have the rule that you don't date castmates.
Because showmances get messy.
So messy. So unbeknownst to each other, we're both sitting here with feelings of love and admiration for the other person, but we're not expressing it or doing anything about it until closing night. And I ask, hey, would you like to go on a date with me? I think like the following night.
I think it was the
So we closed the show.
day.
The next day, it's like, will you go on a date with me? Went on a date. She said yes. Had a great time. The rest is history.
It was great.
Yeah. But yeah, theater is quite
Fantastic.
literally what brought us together. And you know what? We're still going strong.
We are. Yes, sir. Still doing theater. Still married.
Yeah. Are we best friends?
Yeah, we're best friends.
Are we best buddies?
Best buddies forever
Best
and
buddies
ever.
for life.
You're stuck with me, man.
Yeah.
Okay, couple other quick stories. I want to know the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on stage, Jared.
Dude.
You got to be succinct this time, though.
2007 was a crazy time for Virginia. We were doing a children's production. I don't remember what it was, so I'm going to say Aristocats. And during the show, several kids had been around each other and got sick and proceeded to vomit, both on and off the stage.
Oh, dang.
That was crazy. We had power outages during the show. So like our sound system and our lights kept conning on and off.
That's
Come to
me
find
before.
out, because a tornado had touched down in the area.
And this happened the same night everybody was vomiting.
Yes.
The freak.
The freak. We ended up turning it around. The Red Cross came through during intermission, informing us that several people's homes, including some of those of the actors, had been destroyed. And they asked for donations. And so during intermission and during the course of Act 2, people would step outside and make donations.
Oh my gosh.
And we were able to donate a large chunk of funds. Several people then packed up, went to their local church for shelter as they no longer had a home to go to, and then came back the next day to do a show. And so quickly, this children's production became like this rallying cry for the community. It was crazy. But we made the best of it. But yeah, I'm like, nothing tops that. So
That is crazy.
vomiting, power outages, and tornadoes. Beat that.
Mine does not beat that. But my crazy story is, I was in Anne of Green Gables, the musical, as Anne when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing this scene where one of the characters close to me dies. So I'm crying on somebody else's shoulder really hard. And I start getting sniffly, and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm really into this. I'm the coolest ever. I'm such a good actress
ever.
Look down, and it's red. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm bleeding. Like, I'm having an actual bloody nose on stage during this performance. And so I run off stage, and my co-star runs off with me, and she didn't realize what was happening. And I whispered to her, I was like, I have a bloody nose. I need to go take care of this. I was supposed to start the next scene, of course. Actually, it was the last scene of the show, by the way, when two of the characters make up from like fights that they had in the back. Like it's the happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Happy ending never happened that night because it was such a bad bloody nose. I was sitting in the hallway just bleeding, like forever. I was there for, I swear, 10 minutes.
Sure.
And we got 3 minutes in and my director was like, everyone go bow. And that was.
So you just cut to bows.
So we just cut to bows. I didn't even bow that night.
That's so funny.
Luckily, I was just playing older Anne that night. There was every other night I would
sure.
only play older Anne because the other Anne in the cast was younger than me.
Yeah.
But then the other night I would do the whole show, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
It does.
But it was still crazy. But she didn't know
Yeah.
my role because she never did the end.
That is
So
crazy.
that's my craziest
Please
story.
excuse me as I hold my knee as I'm having like extreme knee pain. I'm doing just fine. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm just going to sit here like this for a minute and I'll be okay.
Why are you having extreme knee pain?
Because I'm old, Gracious.
What happened?
I'm old and I had rehearsal today, okay?
Okay, I got beat up at rehearsal today. So
Yeah.
beat that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My question is, have you ever had, okay, I know the answer is yes. Have you ever had an awkward improv moment on stage that like still haunts you to this day?
Plenty of times, but I have a horrible memory. So
I have
could
one that
not
stands
tell you.
out firmly in my memory as a horror story. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm playing Willy Wonka. Our director thought it was a great idea for the gumball machine to be made out of the Oompa Loompas and have them do like an interpretive dance
That's really
as a way
creepy.
of
That's
bringing the
terrifying,
gum onto the
actually.
stage, right? To continue the scene. I don't know what happened. Our stage manager wasn't on it, and we're doing the scene, and the gumball machine just never shows. So it is Willy Wonka, a group of kids, and eager awaiting parents for this gumball machine, and there's no machine to be had. And I think I had to take about 2 minutes of improving with the kids, with the parents, with the audience, and eventually improving with the stage manager and the lighting technician to like let them know like, hey, we're missing the next part of the show. We cannot proceed. We need to do the scene with Violet. And it was probably some of my greatest work, but it had to be so awkward as an audience member. Eventually everyone came out and we moved on and kept going. But yeah, that was rough.
Oh, that sounds.
And that's not
rough.
something that you prepare for.
No.
Because no one anticipates that, like, oh, when we go from scene 5 to scene 6, we're going to miss the entire set piece for scene 6. You don't practice for that. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Last question. What is the most helpful thing you've ever learned about performance that you want to pass on to the next generation?
Oh, for them to remember forever and ever.
Forever.
Stoddard circles.
You got to explain.
This is probably the most valuable piece you could ever use when you're in an audition, in an acting scene, improv, doing an exercise, whatever. I used it today, actually, and our director loved it. Stoddard circle. When an actor needs to get from point A to point B on the stage, the first typical thing that we do is we walk in a straight line, right? Path of least resistance. However, while it's efficient, it's not interesting. And so in order to create contrast and create a little bit of interest on the stage, what you do is you take your point A, your point B, and you say, what's the longest way I could possibly get there? And then you take that route. Generally speaking, it's in a little bit of a circle.
a little half circle.
A little half circle, right? A little crescent. And in that time, you use it to build your character, establish a trait, give a look, connect with the character, connect with an audience member. You do something while you're traveling. So not only are you moving and hitting your mark, you're also creating interest on the stage.
Yes,
and it is
sir.
it's small, it's simple. It's 5 seconds, but those 5 seconds can set you up for the next hour. Stoddard circles. Use them, love them. Circle up a storm, folks.
Mine is also from college.
Yeah.
Acting with your back.
Yes.
And this is by what I mean by that is using your whole body to tell the story.
Yeah.
Are you tense? Are you relaxed? Are you sitting forward? Are you leaning back? Your physicality means a lot more than you think it does, especially on stage. It's one thing to be a film actor and to have everything super up close on your face. If your whole body is on display on a stage, your whole body should be on display, and someone should be able to tell exactly what emotion you're feeling by looking directly at your back. Not like you're always facing the the back. You probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But
Miss Matson, do I have to have a chiseled back in order for this to work?
no.
Nice.
No, that has nothing
You
to
mean
do
that
with it.
anyone can do it?
Anyone can do it.
Wow.
Anyone can do it. We did a lot of neutral mask work in college. Do you remember that?
I do remember.
Uh,
It was hard not to bust out laughing every time you look at your friend like hitting up some flamingo pose in an attempt to like portray an emotion.
right. Because first you have to, in order to do this well, in order to train yourself to do it well, you walk as neutrally as possible. Zero emotion. Sit down as neutrally as possible. Zero emotion. Zero character
Which is
whatsoever.
hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because
That was the hardest
we
part.
carry so much with us as people.
And
I'm hungry. I'm stiff. I'm
we all walk
tired. I'm
differently.
sore.
Like some of us would walk on the balls of our feet. I'm a balls of my feet walker, and we lead with different parts of our body. But just as we do that, characters do that. So does your character lead with their heart, with their head, with their gut? Do they walk on the balls of their feet, or do they take very specific steps?
Are they heavy walkers? Are they?
What emotion are they feeling, and how does that influence
How
the
quickly
way
do they move?
Right. And how does that influence the way that they move? And how does that influence the position of their back, acting with your back, acting with your whole body?
Yeah.
Physicality. That is the most valuable thing I ever learned.
Yeah. Can I say a thing?
Of course.
This is maybe a little out of the ordinary, but if we're talking about us and we're talking about resumes, I want to take 5 seconds to talk about ingenues, right? The lovers. This is a stereotype that like often pops up in theater, right? So much so that maybe we possibly take it for granted. Because what is it? Like Commedia dell'arte. That's like one of the stock characters that they have, right? Is like the two lovers. Hold my hands as I tell you how much I love you in theater terms. I love you, and I will forever be your ingenue if you will forever be mine. And ingenues are so important to theater. So important.
They're in like everything.
They're in everything. And I want to use a quote as we talk about this. Have you ever heard of Jerome Robbins?
Of course I've heard of Jerome Robbins.
Listen up, folks. Jerome
Jerome?
having a stroke. Jerome Robbins is probably one of the most influential choreographers and directors in American theater. He worked across ballet, Broadway, and film. Man was prolific. What made Robbins unique was his deep belief that dance and story should be inseparable. He pushed musical theater into a more integrated, emotionally truthful form where characters didn't just sing or dance for entertainment. Rather, they did it because they had something they wanted to express. Right? He's best known for choreographing and directing shows such as Fiddler on the Roof, The King and I, Peter Pan, On the Town, and most notably, West Side Story. West Side Story was Robbins' baby. He co-conceived the project with composer Leonard Bernstein and playwright Arthur Lawrence. As we know, West Side Story, inspired by Romeo and Juliet. Aw, kiss, kiss. They wanted to tell a classic love story, but in a new way. Robbins insisted that the movement, music, and direction reflect raw passion, cultural tension, and the devastating cost of hatred. Now, if you've stayed with me, this is why I bring this up. In trying to get his point across and convey this to all his coworkers, Robbins was quoted as saying the following: "We're trying to show the height of passion, the purity of first love, and how that passion threatens the world around it." Do you need that again, or you got it?
I got it.
Got it. I'd never considered that before. That Lovers are often the source. They tell us as the audience member what is true, what is right, what is moral, right? Often they are our compasses for the show. And then everything around that seeks to tear them apart, and it gives us opposition. It shows us what's crumbling, what's falling apart, what is no longer working in the show. And so for that, ingenues, lovers, super important and critical to any play, musical, one act, anything that you're doing. Always important. Now, they don't have to be there. A show doesn't have to be about love. It's just that's the purpose that they serve. And also, they're like super easy to connect with, right? They're an emotional point. We all want to root for the lovers. I can't think of a show where Romeo and Juliet come out and everyone's like, boo, you guys are the worst. Separate, PDA, get a room. Actually, I can't think of some shows. But anyways, you picking up what I'm putting down? You smelling what I'm stepping in?
I hate that phrase, but yes.
I don't know. I think they're important, and I want to take a second. I mostly just wanted to say that you're my ingenue.
Aw.
Always together.
Cute.
Yeah, you're really fun to act with.
Together.
I like working with you. You're very creative and expressive, and
thank you.
I think you know how to give and take in a scene.
So do you.
Yeah. Anyone who gets to work with
team.
you, super fortunate.
Yeah.
Hiya, disco up now.
Hiya.
She's so good.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to finish this up with, drum roll please, rapid fire questions. This means you have to answer them super quickly. You get like one sentence.
I'm going to answer this so fast.
You answer these so fast.
I'm going to put on my fast shoes.
And we're going to go back and forth. So I'm going to ask one, you're going to ask one. Ready?
Ready.
All-time favorite musical?
Newsies.
Les Mis for me.
Ultimate dream role?
I have 3. Mother in Ragtime, Julie Jordan in Carousel, or Alice Murphy in Bright Star.
Dude, shut up. I have 3. Jack Kelly in Newsies, Curly McLean in Oklahoma, and Billy Crocker in Anything Goes.
Good answers. If, Jared, you were to make a musical adaptation of any existing story, what musical would you make?
Remember the book Jonathan Livingston Seagull?
That'd be good.
I would create ethereal, abstract version of the show, and I would have the music written by Jason Robert Brown.
Very
because
good.
That man knows how to write good music.
Very good. I would make a musical adaptation of either Hedda Gabler or A Doll's House, because I think Ibsen's plays into musicals would slap.
Totally.
Next question.
Favorite play? Nope. Favorite Shakespeare play? Haha. Gotta be specific.
Hamlet.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Go-to audition song?
Ooh, Goodbye from Catch Me If You Can.
Mine is currently No One Else from Great Comet.
Ooh, you sing that one really well.
Thanks.
Yeah. If you could see one show running on Broadway currently, what would you see?
Gypsy or Floyd Collins?
Hey, I want to go see Floyd Collins. I also want to see Death Becomes Her.
Good. Would you rather be a director, stage manager, or producer?
Director, 100%.
I think I would be a director because I think that's what I would be best at.
Yeah. Who's your Broadway idol?
Kelly O'Hara.
Jeremy Jordan. My man.
Okay. All-time favorite straight play. This isn't just Shakespeare.
Probably importance of being earnest. It is always a masterclass in acting, no matter how you do it.
True.
Always a masterclass.
My favorite is Our Town, but everyone already knew
Yeah,
that.
we already knew that. Okay. Wicked or Phantom, if you had to choose.
Wicked.
Wicked, all the way.
Best movie musical.
For me, or like in general?
What do you think is the best movie musical?
Best movie musical. Hairspray.
La La Land for me.
I like that one. What is one thing that you always do on a show day?
My jaw and vocal folds massage. Those babies
That's
have
true,
some
actually.
issues.
That's true. You do.
But we gotta give them some love.
Yeah. For me, I always have to walk all 4 corners of the stage, and I have to go say hi to my props and check on them.
As you should.
Yeah.
Hey, What's your favorite Sondheim musical?
Sunday in the Park with George, all the way.
I'm a fan of Merrily We Roll Along, personally.
I'm nodding my head and realizing that the audience
No
members
one can
can't
see
see,
you
but I'm
nodding
nodding
your
my
head.
head in agreement. What's your current musical theater song obsession?
Either Maybe from Next to Normal or Back to Before from Ragtime.
Yeah. For me, it's Louder Than Words from Tick Tick Boom. That stuff slaps.
Okay, in your opinion, who is the best Shakespeare character?
Have you ever seen The Tempest?
Yes, I have.
Remember Prospero?
He's...
He has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I really want to see him portrayed as like an edgy goth high school kid. I think it would be phenomenal.
That could be interesting.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. He's super broody.
I think best Shakespeare character is Dromio and Dromio in Comedy of Errors, because basically they're the same person, right?
Fair
I
enough.
think that counts.
Fair enough. That's clever. I'll give you that one. Are you a fan? If you had to choose, Lerner and Lowe or Rogers and Hammerstein?
Okay, I'm in love with both of them, but Rogers and Hammerstein.
I'm also Rogers and Hammerstein, and it's purely your fault. I blame you.
Okay. I take the blame for that.
Yeah.
Jared, if you could play any instrument in the pit, which would you play?
Based on skills that I currently have, or
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Any.
it doesn't matter. Okay. Percussion. Percussion.
Keyboard would be easy for me. I would be a shoo-in, but I really want to learn the cello.
It'd be so pretty. I've been saying for like a couple of months now that like we should learn cello so
I
we can do
also
piano
really
and
want to
cello
learn the
duets.
harp, but harps aren't in very many pit orchestras.
It's not. Also, that stuff is bougie.
Bougie. You got to be rich to have a harp.
Would you rather have to do a role with a complicated makeup routine or hairstyle?
Makeup all day, every day. Hair scares me. I would so much rather put it under a wig.
Same. Hair scares me. Gotta be makeup.
Okay. Chekhov, Strindberg, or Ibsen?
Chekhov.
I'm an Ibsen gal myself.
Yeah, you is. Do you have a go-to theater quote?
To love another person is to see the face of God.
I wrote something down now. It just sounds dumb. I'll go with that one. That's way better. Plus, it ties in with our theme.
Copycat. And that's all we have to say.
This was fun.
This was fun.
We should do this more often.
Yeah, just talk.
It's so much easier to talk about myself.
Oh, I know.
Like research some like 100-year-old play. I love it.
We chose to do this.
That's okay. Yeah. Thanks for being my acting buddy.
My pleasure. Ew, get a room.
Gross, PDA. Hey, folks. If you enjoyed what we have to say, give us a like.
If you enjoy what we're making, give us a follow.
If you think that what we have to say could be enjoyable for someone else that you know, friend, family, relative, maybe you have a pet at home that you love and you want them to be educated as well, give us a share.
We hope that you'll join us next week. In the meantime, go wish us a happy anniversary.
You force them at gunpoint.
We know
Ouch.
some of you have auditions, rehearsals, or performances. So guess what? Go do something in the sunlight and
Break
a leg.
leg.
Woot
If you
woot.
need me, I'll be sitting on the beach.
I'll be at the beach.
So don't call.
100%.